for OddsChecker. We are bringing you one of our last episodes. We have one more, but this is one of our last ones, and I'm feeling a little sentimental here, Alex, for college football. How are you feeling? Merry Christmas, Alex.
Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. Great to be with you, Melissa. And this is the goal, right? Finish strong. Just like all the teams that are still playing, we as handicappers picking the games, trying to finish the year strong. It's been a pretty good one for me on these videos, but 0-1 last week. So would like to get back in the winner's column.
Well, you have had a really strong college football season, if I do say so myself. I'm 2-0 for bowl season. How have you been doing for bowl season?
I think I'm 2-1 for bowl season right now.
That's pretty good.
Which hey, if you win 2 out of every 3, you'll be doing pretty well. But I'm hanging in at 35-22 on the season. So barring a really disastrous end, should finish solidly in the profit zone. But would like to keep going upward from where we are, and got a few picks for you this week to see if we can make that very thing happen.
As a host, I only have to make one pick a week, so my numbers differentiate just a little. But you have been killing it, and with that, you got a couple bowl picks for us before we get to picks of the week, so let's let it rip.
Let's let it rip. I'm excited. I want to start here with what's going to be a very high-scoring bowl game between Texas Tech and Ole Miss. I think this one is straightforward, and I'm on Ole Miss -3.5 in this game, betting on the favorite. I just think Ole Miss is a better team than Texas Tech by more than this amount of points.
Eli Manning.
Eli Manning.
Picking some winners today.
Yep. Absolutely. Unfortunately, Eli Manning not at Ole Miss anymore, but I still think that Ole Miss has the necessary players on offense in particular to score a lot of points in this game. Very few opt-outs, if any, for Ole Miss. Remember, that's something that you have to really consider when you're looking at bowl games. This was actually a problem for me last week, where I picked against Western Kentucky in the New Orleans Bowl, thinking they were going to be missing a lot of players who were in the transfer portal. A couple of them played very well, and Western Kentucky really put it on South Alabama. In this game, it looks like Ole Miss is going to have pretty much the full complement. Texas Tech will as well, so we sort of know what these teams are, and I just think Ole Miss is considerably better. Both of these teams have really good offenses, but I think Ole Miss, seeing the other offense that they have in the SEC, and in some cases doing pretty well against them, has a bit more of juice, a bit more of a defensive opportunity here to do something against Texas Tech and Joey McGuire. I just think that 3.5 is not quite enough points for Texas Tech to cover in this game. And also, an interesting thing about it, as you sort of look at the way that markets are seeing this game, is that this is a 70-plus total and a spread inside 4 points. You don't see that often. That only happened in 3 different games this year, where the spread was that tight with the total being that high, where you're predicting a real back-and-forth shootout. The favorites covered in the previous 3 games. I expect that Ole Miss, as the favorite in this game, is going to cover as well, and it's going to be a pretty good day for the Rebels. If you're curious, TCU and Maryland both did that as 4-point or less favorites with 70-plus totals in games against SMU, and then that great USC-UCLA game. Similar deal, USC winning and covering. So I think there's going to be a replay of that as we kind of look at the way that I think this game might unfold. Elsewhere, Illinois and Mississippi State, Reliaquest Bowl. Under for me is the pick in this game at 46.
Okay. We had to end the season with one under, so
yep, you have to have unders. Chase Brown is not playing for Illinois. He is the great running back for the Fighting Illini, best player on that team by a wide margin. Mississippi State's number 2 running back, who has been an important player for them on offense, Dylan Johnson. He is transferring. He is not there. He is not going to be part of this game. Their number 2 receiver, Rara Thomas, is in the transfer portal as well. He's not playing in this game. You look at Illinois without Chase Brown, and you just see not a lot there, frankly, on offense. You don't see a lot of reasons to think Illinois would score many points. I don't think they will against a pretty decent Mississippi State defense that has held much better offenses than Illinois to not many points this year. I expect that Mississippi State's going to be inspired. It's kind of weird to even be talking about football here. They're going to be playing for the memory of Mike Leach, their beloved coach who died a couple of weeks ago. And, of course, I would imagine that Mississippi State is going to try to score a lot of points in honor of the coach who built that team and put them together. Even if they do, I just don't think Illinois is going to contribute a whole lot to this total. Feels like a game that is primed to go to a pretty low number. So I like the under here at 46 points. And remember, I mean, this is an important point. You talk about Mississippi State. It's still a Mike Leach team. This is a team built in his image. Yes, they score, but they also play decent defense, and they're not lightning tempo or anything like that. So feeling good about the under when the Illini meet the Bulldogs.
Yeah, we had a lot of crazy storylines this college football season, including Mike Leach, obviously. TCU had their Cinderella story. USC was a little robbed. I mean, they might have robbed themselves on this one, but it's been a college football season, and I'm so glad we got to enjoy it together.
Absolutely, it's been a ton of fun, and I think that picking these games every week, previewing the season, has been some of the most fun that I've gotten to have throughout this entire season.
Oh, love that. I also had a lot of fun doing college football with you, Alex. With that being said, let's get into the nitty gritty. We got some playoff picks. I'm picking one game. You're picking another. We've got two. This Saturday?
Yeah, Saturday. It's going to be the New Year's Eve playoff semifinals this year. Hope you are ready to have the game on at your party, the nightcap.
I was going to say, what are you doing for New Year's Eve?
I will be watching college football and writing and talking about it. Yeah.
Love to hear it. This is why we follow your picks. With that being said, the college football playoffs are quite close to us. We got a matchup between Georgia and Ohio State for your pick of the week, Alex. The Bulldogs have been largely dominant all season long en route on an SEC championship. But on the other hand, the same can't be said for Ohio State, as the Buckeyes floundered in their loss to Michigan during the week. What do you got for us here?
Yeah, I'm going under again. I know it's been an under kind of bowl season for me. The number is 62.5. This is my pick of the week in the Ohio State-Georgia Peach Bowl playoff semifinal. I think that Georgia's defense is going to impose some limitations on Ohio State in a way Ohio State is not really used to. Yes, Ohio State at the skill positions is as good as any team in college football. C.J. Stroud throwing the ball to Marvin Harrison Jr. And others, Emeka Egbuka. You've got three different running backs, Dallin Hayden, Travion Henderson, Mayan Williams, who are going to be some mix of effective, I would think, together in this game. But Georgia's defense, Melissa, is just overwhelming, has been overwhelming against almost everybody that has seen, not just last year, but into this year, even after they lost an entire NFL lineup's worth of players following the national title season that they had last year. I just think this unit is really, really good. Ohio State is going to try them deep in a deep passing game, vertical passing game that a lot of teams have not even attempted against Georgia. The one that really did was Tennessee in a game back when Tennessee was unbeaten and Tennessee could not sniff 20 points in that game. It is just very, very difficult to take the top off of this defense in the way that I think Ohio State is geared to try to do. And I just think on the other side of this ball, and the reason that I'm going with an under pick here and not just picking Georgia against the spread is that I do think Ohio State's defense is going to show up a bit in this game as well. And we don't know that for sure. They got gashed against Michigan, particularly at the end of that game, when a couple of long touchdown runs really made that score into a laugher against the Buckeyes. But Georgia has shown offensively that it, while overall being pretty efficient, can struggle to score points against good defenses. Remember, they had a 16-point output in a win against Kentucky, which is probably the best defense other than Ohio State that they will have seen all year. Only scored 16 points in that game. And I want to give some credit to Jim Knowles, the Ohio State defensive coordinator, who I think is a pretty sharp guy, and to the very talented players on Ohio State's defense, that they are not going to get blown off the field in this game. So I think that C.J. Stroud and company are going to have a tough time scoring points. I just think that Georgia's offense is not significantly better than the Ohio State defense. I don't think they're going to score quickly. I think that they're going to have that plodding, slow downfield passing game with Stetson Bennett. Yes, there will be points, but it will take a little bit of time to get those points. And you put all of these things together and add in Kirby Smart's interest in kind of sitting on a game if Georgia does get up by a couple of touchdowns. And it feels to me like the under is really where the value is as we look at this Peach Bowl.
Okay, well, I love the under picks. I mean, you have been so strong when it comes to totals this college football season. My question for you, though, is, okay, who do you think is going to win? Just lay it out on me. Do you think it's going to be Georgia?
I think Georgia will win. Nothing's look, Melissa, and we say this on the show.
Yeah, you're right.
Even a lock is never a lock. You never really know anything for sure in this business. I think Georgia's a better team. What I'm less sure about is the spread. I think the spread's going to settle around a touchdown.
What is it right now?
It's been sitting this week at about 6.5 points. Obviously, keep an eye on OddsChecker, and you can see different prices at different places, different books over the course of the week. But it's been about 6.5, 7. as we've looked at it the last couple of days. And that's about what that spread should be, which is why I didn't have a spread pick for this game. I think anything within a point of that in either direction is very much on the nose of what this could be. And when it's that close in my brain, then that's when I'm not really interested in a spread pick.
Okay, well, you said it there. We're looking at the under for the Georgia game. Now, I do have a spread pick for you, but I'm saying we buy a point. So this is what's happening here. We got Michigan taking on TCU. The spread right now at FanDuel. You can also look at OddsChecker to see where you shop the values, see what you got. It's at -108 right now. I'm saying we buy it down. I think that Michigan will win by a touchdown. I know, it's kind of crazy.
Okay. Okay. So you want to buy that from like 7.5 to 6.5.
6.5. Yeah, I feel like that's the move here. Better safe than sorry. They're taking on TCU, which has had an incredible run this season in Arizona. I can't talk enough about the Horned Frogs.
I like it. I think if I were going to take a spread side in this game, if I were going to, which I have not here, but if I were going to, I would like Michigan. And obviously, if you're buying points, then the chances of a cover are better, particularly when you're crossing a key number. You'd obviously pay for that with what you get if it hits, but there's hardly a more attractive price point or score point, I guess I should say, to buy the point than to go from 7.5 to 6.5.
I'm just saying we might not even have to, just maybe wait it out. They opened at 8.5 points and they've been moving down. So you never know. I mean, the books are a little smarter than us, though.
Yeah, look, there's a longstanding theory that people who have bet on college football will tell you about, which is that if Michigan is playing, you wait for that Michigan money to come in closer to the game, move the line a bit more towards Michigan, and maybe you get a better opportunity. That would kind of cut against what we're doing right here, right? that would suggest that this line would get even bigger and that, suddenly, kickoff come around, there's a bunch of money in. Maybe Michigan's a 9.5, 10-point favorite. I don't know. But that also doesn't always hold up. And maybe, TCU, it's a wealthy school, a lot of wealthy alumni. Maybe they're throwing some money into this game and the line gets a little bit better. We'll find out.
Well, we'll see what happens. The Wolverines are 0-3 all time when they're against Big 12 teams, but their last meeting with the Big 12 was 2013. So this is a different game. This is a different team. This is a completely different dynamic, and you can't read too much into that. The style of play is a factor, however. But you know what? They run the ball so well. So hopefully they just run it down their throats, and wear the defense down. I think the Cinderella story for TCU ends here on Saturday. What do you think?
I think Michigan's going to win this game as well. I think that the likeliest thing that we see is Georgia and Michigan playing each other for the second year in a row in the playoff and doing it this time in the national championship game next month.
Oh, God. I wonder what the odds are for that. It's probably great money.
That would be interesting. And I think we will revisit that if that is, in fact, the championship matchup. I think if I were guessing off the top of my head right now, I'd say Georgia would probably open something like a 5 or 6 point favorite in a game against Michigan, if that's the national title matchup. But that's just off the top of my head. I'll be very curious to see what it actually is.
And I'm pretty sure you can still bet on who the matchup is for the the championship. So that might be a better way to even make money. We'll revisit that soon. We got some time. With that being said, guys, happy holidays here from us at OddsChecker, and we will see you for our last college football show. I'm kind of sad about it, Alex.
Me too. But we'll see you soon.
Okay, guys, happy betting.